We are live with another round of bar debates. So when we first talking about the Saturday, doing the Saturday
Yeah,
shit, we've done a
yeah.
lot of movie podcasts. We also done some gaming podcasts and podcasts with friends. Random topics.
Yeah.
But
hmm
recently it's been mostly movies, and I was like, we need to go back and just do the hour random podcast. And part of the reason is just because when your friends, or even your coworkers go out drinking. It's what I like to call the bar. It's the discussions that happen. That's when you realize, oh, who am I friends with my coworkers and shit like that. You get like these
Very
weird
true.
discussions. Like, I don't know if you remember
Mhm.
the Soto. Way back in the day, whatever. This had to be sometime in the mid 2000s, knowing our time period. Me and you
Mhm.
went to, I think this was an Applebee's. It could have been a Chili's, but Applebee's, I think we were in Nashua, so I'm thinking Applebee's. And you
Yeah.
probably don't remember this, but you might remember the topic as I bring it out. Um, but
I
before I
don't.
continue, hey Hank, thanks for joining. Hopefully all is going well. But Soto, we were there, and this was after the Patriots won their third Super Bowl, their third. And
Oh God.
this is
Okay.
when the Brady and the Montana discussion kind of started. Like, obviously, people were still Montana because at that time, Montana had four, Brady had three. But
Yeah.
but the comparisons were there. They were starting. So me and you obviously were out drinking, and we were just discussing. I think we were just more discussing Montana because we were talking about how great he was. And there was a dude at the other side of the bar, and he was
Oh, I
telling
do
us
remember
how Steve Young was a better Super Bowl quarterback than Joe Montana. And both of
I
us, now don't
remember
get me
this.
wrong, Steve Young's a great quarterback. I don't know if he's top
Yeah.
10, maybe close. And his performance in that Super Bowl against San Diego was phenomenal. I do not want to take
Sure.
anything against that Super Bowl or Steve Young. They kicked the ass. He threw for like six touchdowns, five, six touchdowns. And that's what the guy was saying, is because Steve Young threw for more touchdowns than Joe Montana ever did in a Super Bowl. And at first I think we
Wow.
thought he was trolling. Was he serious? And then we realized he
Yeah.
was serious. And then we're like, what
I
the
do remember.
fuck?
I haven't thought about this in forever. Like that's like an ancient memory being unlocked.
I
Like
know.
I had no memory of that. Yeah, I remember now, but yeah, I've not thought about that in a long time. But yeah, I remember that being a very hot take. We were sitting at the bar, weren't we?
Correct. And that's why I think it was
Yes.
Applebee's, because I think it was like the one on
Mhm.
Amherst Street. We were just,
Yeah, we were
eh,
definitely sitting at a bar
correct.
because he was another asshole at the bar. Yep.
Yeah. And we were just kind of lightly. But my point is, those were those were like the days for a lot of people, because especially that was before cell phones really took over. But you had to
Yeah.
come up with conversations, and
Yeah.
sometimes even in our gaming moments, like especially when we gamed with like Mel and Tengu, you would come up with these random thoughts. Like you asked, is Nightmare Before Christmas a Halloween movie or a Christmas movie? But you had to choose one. And unfortunately, Mel blew herself up, and we never really got into that. But I miss that. I think
Yeah.
that, and that's what I wanted to bring in the essence of these Saturday talks. It's just us BSing, talking, and if people happen to join, they can obviously ask
Yeah.
us anything, get into topics, etc., etc. Yeah, it could be sports, wrestling, games. But that's what was great. It was just whatever you were thinking about in the moment. You're having a good time, light conversation. Then you're like, hey, we both like. What do you think of this? So yes, that's kind of how I wanted this to be and how it started. So hence today's topic or name, drinking buddies, the bar debates, whatever you want to call it. But yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely I miss those days to a point. Outside of what it probably did to my body, but yeah,
Oh
I know me
yeah.
and
I
you
mean,
still.
we were smoking cigarettes back then too. We were
Oh
like
my
smoking
god, we were,
cigarettes,
weren't
drinking
we?
beers, and going to freaking bars and having beers. I do miss those days. I miss those times. I feel that the internet kind of took that over a little bit. I don't know. Like I feel like you don't those things don't happen like naturally as they do, or else like you mentioned, like when we're playing games and stuff. But I don't get into too many situations like that these days.
No, and especially now that you can just Google anything and just kind of prove your point. Because
Oh
before,
my god,
you
I
just
know, right?
you would say it, and then like I said, whether it's movies, sports, whatever, then you just kind of debate about
Yeah,
it. Um,
yeah,
but yeah, no, and that's kind of like I said, that's what I want to go for this. Yeah, so we're live on YouTube. Another Saturday. We're going to do this every week. Monday, we're going to put this up on Spotify. So if you're listening on Spotify, thank you for that. But speaking about sports, Soto, I going to
Yeah.
work every morning. Quickly listen to sports radio. It's a short drive for me, so it's not like I really find much. It's like 20 minutes. And
Yeah.
obviously, being out here in the Boston area, I hear more about Boston sports than my hometown or my favorite
Oh
Chicago,
my god.
which is fine.
Hmm.
And recently, obviously, the Celtics had their meltdown, the Bruins, whatever happened, and then obviously the Red Sox have not been what they thought they were. But so it got me thinking, Soto, and I actually had to look this
Well,
out. Now I'm gonna present this question to you because you don't even know this is coming.
sure.
But before I do, let me prep you.
Take your
In your lifetime,
Okay.
since the day you were born,
Yeah.
I just want to put this. You
Mm.
have witnessed now.
Wow.
You might not have remembered because of your age, but technically, I went by the day you were born. I looked everything up. You've witnessed 6 Super
Mhm.
Bowls, 4 NBA championships. Yes, you might not remember a couple of those bird ones because you're little, but you were still alive. That's my
Yeah.
point. 1 Stanley
Mhm.
Cup and 4 World Series. Not too bad. For me,
Yeah. That's not bad at all.
my lifetime, 1 Super Bowl, 6 NBA championships, three
That's pretty
Stanley
good.
Cups, and 2 World
Mhm.
Series. White Sox won one in
It's not
Cup.
bad.
So yeah, it's
Michael
still not
Jordan
bad.
too.
I had
It's
the
a
Michael
big
Jordan,
deal.
you had Brady, but the point is,
Yeah.
ups and downs. Obviously, these. So here's my question now to you, Soto. We got Boston, Chicago.
Sure.
Now I'm only talking 4 major sports. Which
Yeah.
city do you think is going to get the next championship? Any sport,
Oh,
any
as a
sport.
whole,
One city,
the Bulls are
so
the Bulls aren't going there.
no Bulls,
Um,
definitely not. And Blackhawks
Bulls are a
have
little far away.
yes,
Blackhawks, I don't know much about. The Cubs,
they're first right now
um,
in their division.
yeah. They got like what this guy like Pete Crow Armstrong or some shit. I don't know. The White Sox are not doing great
No,
this year.
no,
The Bears. So I think that I don't. I mean, I'll be 100% honest. I don't know how good the Cubs are because I haven't watched a lot of NL stuff this year. I've been mostly focusing on the below 500 Red Sox. Well, they have won 6 out of 8 games. Who's gonna win a
no, no, no,
championship
no, no.
first?
That which Chicago team will Chicago get the championship first or Boston?
No, no, no. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
like weighing out
because
both
if
of
you
them. It's
really think
like,
about this, it's like a lot of these teams are going on the downside. Cubs is the only one that is tech. I looked up. I was surprised because I heard they're in first in their division. I'm like, really? I mean, but yeah,
yeah, but they beat the Dodgers. I don't know about that. So, basically, in my mind, it comes down to, is it good? Will the Patriots win a Super Bowl before the Bears win a Super Bowl? Ooh, this is a tough one. This is a good one. Because we're both kind of in that, in between time.
we're seeing what our second year QBs are really about. I know everyone's in love with
Yeah,
Drake
we're
May,
gonna
and I
find
just,
out soon.
obviously, I'm like, guys, it's been one rookie season. I'm like, you can't tell much by one rookie season. Even Jaden Daniels could slip. So you know what I mean.
I
So
could see. I mean, look, I saw shit. I saw throws. You've seen throws. Like
yeah,
you could
but
tell if a guy has it or not.
when you are thinking your next year is going to be good because of throws, there's trouble. That's all I'm saying. Yes, he can throw,
I've
but
seen
then
some nasty
Caleb could throw
throws.
too.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
so, and neither one of these teams won well last year. My point is, I think people when you get too excited about good throws, your team's in the shit right now. There's a lot of digging out to do. Don't get me wrong. We've been digging out for a little while. The Bears have, I mean, so
Yeah, I
yeah.
think the Pats can low key win 10 games this year. I mean, could the Bears win 10 games this year?
I would have to look at their schedule. But believe it or not, Bears have no. But the Bears, believe it or not, have the hardest schedule in the league, and they were the worst
Of
team
course
in
they
the
do.
yeah because of the teams. But Vikings aren't going to be as good. We don't know JJ McCarthy.
No,
I don't think
no.
I don't think Green Bay is as good. And Lions, I'm a little worried about because now they have a lot of their players, but they lost a lot of their coordinators, their coaching staff.
They did.
So
They did.
this is the year to see. Can they? Yes, because I think, but they do have a tough road because I think they play the AFC's was the North. So they play Baltimore, Cincy, Cleveland, and
Yeah.
I think they play that division this year. I could be wrong. I could be blowing smoke up people's asses. But honestly, for the Bears, it depends on
Ah,
Caleb. Because you know what, if you look at it just his numbers weren't bad. They weren't great. They weren't bad. They're just average. But for a rookie, it's like, okay, 20 TDs, 6 picks, almost 4,000 yards. Got sacked 70
Yeah.
times. So,
Well, yeah, no. I mean, like if I think about it, I think that neither of these cities are really that close. I think the closest would be the Celtics, even with Tatum's injury, and that's still a couple of years away. I'd still think the Celtics are closer to winning a championship than anything else. Um, there's a lot of question marks with the Patriots. So I mean, they have a better coach now. They actually have a coach, which they didn't have last year. You guys are in the same situation too. You did not have a coach last year. Uh,
no.
yeah, so I don't know. I don't. I mean, again, I would think that it'd be. I definitely. It's up in the air in football for sure. I think that's a push right there. Um, I think yeah. Again, I think the Celtics from both cities, Celtics are the closest, but I'm not going to sit here and say the Patriots are
So,
going to win a Super. They're not a Super Bowl winning team
no.
right now.
But I will. All right. So if I'm looking at this, and I'm being honest, the Bears are closer to a Super Bowl than the Patriots, only because if Caleb sucks this year, they can just get a free
Yeah,
agent QB and put him in that system. They have a. If you look at the other talent, I think there's more talent on the Bears, and I think it. But to me,
the Bears get out of the NFC. Really?
I'm just comparing them to the Pats. Like I said,
Yeah,
though, I
yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah.
but you know what? Because it's all on Caleb Williams. But I'm just saying, they got receivers, they built the line, they got the defense. If Caleb sucks, they can get. If there's a decent free agent QB, you know, you never know.
Like Aaron
I'm just
Rodgers.
saying, but I'm just comparing the two situations. To me, this question
You
really
want
comes
Aaron
down to:
Rodgers?
can the Cubs hold on and sustain, or as you said, or is it the Celtics after Tatum returns? Like, which would
It's
happen
like a
first?
year and a half away from now.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's. I don't know. I mean, again, I don't know how good the Cubs are. I know that the Dodgers are loaded, so it's about just kind of getting out of divisions.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. This is a good one. I'm gonna have to think about this one because I don't really have like a strong opinion about it.
No,
Because
and that
right now the Boston teams are kind of icky. I mean, the Red Sox ain't certainly not going to win one this year.
no.
It stopped me from watching them though. And I think that no matter what your team does, you're going to have to watch them. That's your team,
Yeah,
and
of course.
the Red Sox have been kind of mediocre, but they've also like won back-to-back series, or they won the last two series against the Yankees and the Rays, and now they're going against the Yankees. They just walked them off last night on Friday night. Um, but they don't pass the eyeball test. As you know, with baseball, it's a long fucking season. Um, which is crazy that Aaron Judge already has 26 home runs. It's like June 14th. And I saw his stats. I'm like 26 fucking home runs. What the fuck? Um, yeah, because the Bulls. I mean, do we know anything about the Bulls?
No, I know they made the play-in tournament, but they lost. You know that's too. That's so weird that they did that. I'm like, just pick the 8 seeds, top 8. You made it great. You know, now they got like the ninth and 10th
Yeah,
seed, and so what you know how it goes. Whatever the 7, 8, 9, 10 fight for the last two spots. So I think they were like 10th, and they made like the play-in tournament, but they lost. So it's like I wasn't expecting much. Um, from what I heard once I but yeah, so no, I don't know. I mean, obviously it's a new off season. You never know what's going to happen. But yeah, no,
yeah.
I don't expect there hasn't been much hype around the Bulls, for a little
Well,
while.
like so for the Bears, like what free? So let's say Caleb Williams did fuck up. What free agent quarterback would go in there and turn it around?
All right, so let's think about this. I mean, obviously, so this would be next year. So now you almost
Yeah,
have to be fantasy. So here, and I'm not talking about because people think about like studs, but think about what Kirk Cousins did. Think about what Sam Darnold did. It's really the Sam Darnold. Think about that. He took the Vikings to 15-2, and they were still the wild
he
card.
did.
No one.
Right.
Vikings were in a rebuilding year,
They
and they
were.
had the same record as the NFC North champs, and that's just fucking insane. So again, you don't know, but it's basically, can you get that game manager, someone who can be like, okay, they may not win it, they may not lose it. Let their superstars do their job. Get the ball to DJ Moore. Get their ball to Rome. Let the defense
You talking
play.
about like Joe Flacco or something, or
Well, I
like
don't know. Joe
what did Joe
Flacco's a
Flacco
little
do like
his
48 next year?
age is up there. But if you give me Joe Flacco 4 or 5 years ago, yeah, that's a different story.
Yeah,
Again, it's not gonna. You don't need to light it up in the NFL. If you have the players around you, you just need to get them the fucking ball. And right now Drake May is like Kenny.
and
That's why they got him Diggs, though Diggs made a mistake. But That's a different story. But yeah,
Think Aaron Rodgers would be available?
Aaron Rodgers, no, because he's playing for the Steelers now. I don't.
Oh, if he's available next year, you know.
He's well past his prime. He's well past. I'm sorry, Rodgers is not what he used to be. And
No, of
it would be
course
fucking
not. He's
hilarious.
like the anti Tom Brady, basically.
Pretty much. Pretty much. I mean,
Yeah.
again, we'll watch, see how he does this year because obviously we watch football. That's obviously a major storyline. We hate him. We love to hate
Yeah,
him.
that's all.
So
I just hate him. Yeah. Just
yeah.
wish nothing but bad things on him.
But I honestly
Because
did not
that,
think he was going to get picked up by a team, and then all of a sudden I hear he's on the Steelers. I mean, it's like okay, and you got Justin
well, the Steelers
Field.
don't have much.
No, no,
You know, they don't have much. So, they he's better than what they got. So I guess he'll just give it another go round, and we'll see. Steelers make sense for Aaron Rodgers. I was kind of hoping he'd do the Vikings thing, but
we
the
all,
Brett Favre thing.
we all were. But I think JJ McCarthy's because he got injured. That's the whole reason Sam Darnold started and had the year. So yeah, we're gonna see what JJ McCarthy is finally. This whole draft class has been interesting. So or last year's QB
No,
draft class, I should say. But no, it's year two for a lot of these guys. I'm excited. But yeah, I was looking. I'm like, okay, the Cubs. They might be able to compete. I don't know if they'll win. I'm just more surprised they're in first, which I'm like, all right, that's sweet. Um,
100%.
and yeah, the Bulls. I don't follow hockey and basketball that much. I get the updates. In hockey, it's the same situation as the basketball. They got the number one draft pick, Bedard, like a few years ago, and they just haven't done it.
Yeah.
There's you start seeing the signs, but they're far from that. Competing again what they were in the 2010s. So, but we'll see. But yeah, I was like, which city will Chicago or Boston get the next championship, or which one will get it first? I should say. So
Great question. It's like, we should whittle it down to be like, you think the Bears, the Pats, like which one is like gonna win? I mean, the Pats, they got the Chiefs in that in the
they
AFC.
got the Chiefs, they got the Ravens, Bengals. I
Yeah,
know
that's
people shit on the
always
Bengals, but Burrow, if
Bengals.
he's
They beat
back,
the Bengals last year.
yeah, from Jamar Chase sitting out, there is no
For
connection.
Jacoby Brissett.
All they had to do was lose that game, and the Pats would have the number one pick and could have traded for more shit. Yeah. So what?
Oh man,
Bears
I
beat the
know.
Pats. Games happen. Wins happen. But
They do.
but
They
look
do.
how much. If you look at Burrow's numbers from last year, and none of that came
Yeah.
from game one. Yeah, he was MVP. Just without the wins. So, but they can turn it on. But who else in the AFC? I mean, the Bills, obviously. No way they're getting past
Yeah.
Josh Allen and the Bills right now. Not
Uh,
yet. I mean, again, anything can happen. I
see.
get it, but
Anything because it's football. Football's the one sport where it's like one game, that's it, you're done, and anything can happen. Whereas I feel like in a series where usually the better team wins in a series because it just goes that way. But
yeah.
football, you get upset, you can have a Hail Mary, things can happen, ball goes through a different way, and then it's a whole new thing. So
Yep. Ah. But staying on sports, Soto, I got a story. I sent you a text with the picture, and
You
I
did.
think I need to
Yep.
tell this story because it's funny. My friend Brian, he's been helping clean out his parents' stuff, and he found in a Ziploc bag a Tom Brady signed hat. Autograph, certificate authenticity. Yeah, I can talk right now. But anyhow,
It's the beer.
and he kind of joked. He was just like, did you, I can't remember who gave this to me. And I texted him like, I did. And we laughed. And because it's been so long. I used to get so much. So let me explain this story about how I
Yeah.
bought this hat because way back in 2001, 01, 02. So this is before the Patriots won the Super Bowl. I was out here. We actually, me, Brian, and a couple other people were at the game. Drew Bledsoe got knocked out. It was the very first game after 9/11. They were playing the Jets. I think it was the Jets. And we had tickets, and yeah, it was insane because obviously they had the week off, and then they were resuming games again. So yeah, this is like the first game after all that. A lot of excitement, a lot of like, hey, life's trying to move forward again, and then Bledsoe gets knocked out. And you heard that hit, Soto, throughout the stadium. Now, here's the best part. Obviously, everyone's in hindsight, they know what happens. But I'm going to take you back to what it was really like in that stadium. Because so you're a Boston
Mhm.
fan. You know how Boston fans think. And you can understand how they thought. They're like, oh my God, this fucking season's over. We're not going to win a single
Yeah.
game now. Who the fuck is
Oh,
this
absolutely.
Tom Brady guy? You know what I mean?
I
So,
hated Tom Brady.
oh, everyone
Yep.
did.
I hated him. Even as a
So,
Patriots fan, I didn't like him when he first came in.
there's still old people, and I'm Ozzy older than us, that will say Bledsoe is better than Brady, but that's besides the point. So anyhow, I'm just kind of bringing us
Hawk would
back that
say that.
you'd be surprised. You know, like he had a better arm. This again, I'm talking about oldie people. But
Uh,
anyhow,
yeah,
that's why they're
I mean,
senile.
mental
They're
mental
senile.
mental illness is a very important
It is.
thing to make sure we stay on
But
top
anyhow,
of.
so at that time, I moved back to Illinois. I lived with my dad. And so
Yep.
obviously the season's going on, and it's not like Patriots were lighting it up. And none of this really matters. But this is, again, before Tom Brady won in the playoffs or championship. This is also a time where the internet was really starting to become a thing, and online shopping
Hmm.
was still in its infancy. And I discovered this site, eBay. Now, a lot of people know what eBay is like today. Then it was just pretty much purely auction. You couldn't buy it now. Um, so I was like trying to I did a lot of my shopping on eBay. So November, I'm kind of going through and, I always get Brian a gift. I'm like, you know what? I'm like, oh, there's a lot of cool shit. Let me find some Boston autographs. I'm looking at Larry Bird. I'm like, no, fuck, that is way too expensive. And I'm just like, God damn. And eventually I come across this signed Tom Brady hat. And
Hmm.
I'm sitting there thinking like, oh, is he going to be any good? Is this going to be worth it? I'm dead serious. And I'm doing the bids. I'm like, you know what? I'll throw it in there because I'm like, worst comes to worst. If they lose and Bledsoe comes back next year, this will just be a good, like conversation piece that Brian can have and joke. Remember
Right.
that guy, Tom Brady? So this got up to I think I
Remember that
ended up
guy.
paying $20 for this, and I told Brian this too. And
What?
even then, I thought that was too much. I was like, God damn, really? Do I want to spend this much? No one knows what Tom Brady. With shipping, 25. And so yes, I got
Wow.
this, and I bought some other stuff for my
Wow.
dad. So yes, I Ziploc bag, sent it to him Christmas. I mean, I think it came in a Ziploc bag and everything. And yeah, and that was it. He opened up. Oh, cool. And we might have discussed it after around the championship, but we really didn't discuss it then. And he honestly forgot about this hat. I'm sure because obviously at that age, our age, we're moving around. He was
Yeah.
kind of living with his now current wife, but so things
Mhm.
happen. And yeah, so he's unloading now. He found other things. I like a Larry Bird basketball card and picture that I got him. He found like
Wow.
old NES games. I was like, damn, Power Glove. We've talked about the Power Glove in our Talk of the Wizard, but yeah. So he sent me this picture, which is the one that's up right now that I sent you, and I laugh. And we reminisce. So yeah, he's actually going to buy now like a special case because now he's able to kind of have some kind of man cave. He's never really had one. My man cave is like my desk here. Off to the side is the dresser where I
That's
have like
that's
little things,
amazing.
like not major, but it's just something. But I laughed. Yeah. So Soto, yeah, I bought this
Wow.
hat for $20 on eBay, and I also was worried because I'm like, is this legit? You got to remember this time in the internet was like, is this real? And I'm like, you know what? And I think that's my thought. I'm like, it's $20. Worst case, if it's a fake, whatever, it's a story. You know what I mean? Like,
Dude,
yeah, so I
insane.
I can't even imagine what this hat is worth now.
That's what I'm
Um,
saying. It's like, why does he just fucking sell this shit?
I
Like,
know he'll
holy
keep it.
moly.
I mean, we looked. Jill and I did. There's some Super Bowl hats. Like he signed this exact style hat after he won the Super
Yeah.
Bowl, and I think he put Super Bowl third, whatever the number was. I forget 30, whatever.
Yeah.
The one where they beat the Rams. And yeah, so he had some signature hats go up for thousands, hundreds for. But yeah, he can do whatever he wants. But
Wow.
I laughed at the fact that he asked, he couldn't remember who got it from him. I'm like, dude, I did. And I had to remind him. But yeah, and I just laughed thinking about this story because I know I'm on eBay like, God, $20 seems like a lot. Because again, Tom Brady wasn't anyone then. You got to go back
Hmm.
to 8 weeks in the season at best. So 9 weeks, 4-4, some shit like that. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, obviously the purchased and the worked out. Um, but yeah, he has a Tom
Just amazing.
Brady's. I know, but and it's just crazy. It's
For cheat, and he forgot about it.
he did, and I because every now and then I think about him like I don't want to ask him because here's the thing. Again, we've both been bachelors at one time. You know, you move.
Yeah.
You know, think. I mean, obviously things happen. You're putting boxes away. You know, whatever. Something could happen. I don't like. Hey, do you remember? Do you still have that? And somehow something happened and made him feel bad about it. So I'm glad he still has it. I actually forgot the logo. Like I said, I just knew it was a Patriots hat, like the NE logo. I thought
Mhm.
for some reason it was like the
Yeah.
old school or the because around that I think it was like late '90s they changed the logo to more of
Mhm.
that head, the the flying head. But yeah,
Yes. Flying Elvis. Yeah.
flying Elvis. So, but yeah, I
So we
laugh.
call it.
Obviously his kids just saw it, they were mesmerized by it. They couldn't believe like that exists and that their dad has it
Yeah.
or owns it. So yeah, I know he's gonna buy something like a special case and put it in, and I'm like, no, dude, I'm glad you got it. I'm glad you found it. It's still in really good condition. And yeah, he's not. He said he's not gonna say. I mean, if he
Looks
did,
great.
whatever. I mean, but I'm like, it's a story. I'm like, I told him like, do you realize, Brian, when you know, not to rush it, but the day you pass away, your two sons are gonna fight over this shit. And then he started laughing. So you know, it's
Tom
we'll see. I
Tom
mean,
Brady.
yeah, that's a problem for another day. But yeah, so yeah, he found a Tom Brady sign
Wow.
hat that I bought for $20, 25 probably with shipping off of eBay, and I was even worried about the amount. And I'm like, is this real? Is this legit? And then I'm like, again, I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna go with it. Worst case scenario, Brady flops, and it's a story. Remember the guy that used to start Tom Brady? Yep. So
Oh my god, it'd be hilarious. That would have been a hilarious joke if because you're like, I got this signed by Tom Brady. You'd be like, who the fuck is Tom Brady? And then it turns out to be the greatest quarterback of all time.
yep,
So that's an awesome story.
it's insane. But yeah, I had to share that once you sent that picture because you know it's kind of shocking, you know, to see it for real. You know that it's. I mean, you know, they're out there, but the fact that you know some, it's just hilarious. So,
And it was
oh
just chilling. And again, like you mentioned, it's in great condition too. Like that looks awesome. So
yeah,
you know, you get yourself a nice little display case. I do not have the luxury of having anything cool like that in my little closet that I live in, but one day I'll have a place that has more than two rooms in it,
someday if we ever
more
get
than
to that,
one room.
one room,
Yeah, we'll
two
see.
rooms.
All
Yep.
right, I just want another room. That's all. Because right now it's like, yeah, my man cave is my desk. I also happen to work here, and that's it. You know. So, but I wouldn't mind a little area with some display case shit. I don't know if I would do sports memorabilia, to be honest with you. I feel like that's more of a 99 restaurant kind of a thing, or TGI Fridays. If I go there, I'm like, oh yeah, look at that signed poster of Larry Bird.
Yeah, but if you
I
own
think
it,
I'd have more like, I don't know, sports stuff. Like, I don't know, like jerseys. It's just never been my thing.
no, I wouldn't collect the jerseys. I mean, right now I do have a lot of sports stuff, and actually I have like a display that's down at the end of the hall because the desk table fits perfectly in there. And I kind of forgot a lot of things. My dad also got me like these baseball plates that have like Babe Ruth, Yogi. So I have a mix, but then I have like the movies, like and games and shit too. Just like I have signed
So many games.
posters from like video game creators. But then I have like a Lego Chicago Bears football I'm looking at right now that my daughter bought me that I put together. So I don't know. It's you know what? Make it your
Nice.
own. Just whatever. But yeah, I have so much shit that's in
Whatever.
boxes, and then I have action figures. I got Tifa right over there. I know I got what is it, Squall
Yeah.
somewhere and Akira and just so many things. So I don't know
Oh,
if
I
I,
got a bunch of shit. Yeah.
but a man cave is a man cave. You put in whatever you want. I know it's usually more sports related, but hell, if it's a cool thing and a cool story and you like it, fuck it, man. It's your man cave, just like it's your desk.
Absolutely. Yeah. 100%.
So Soto, I gotta ask you. Um, and you mentioned you were playing this beforehand, but you gave me the thumbnail. And RoboCop is drinking beers with us. Now I don't know if this is good or bad. Is he on the job? Off the? I mean, he's smiling, so at least we know he's happy and we're not causing a problem. That's a good thing.
I mean,
Um,
does he smile at the games? I'm not even sure. It's yeah, no, I just yeah, we've been talking about the games we're playing, right? So I bought Assassin's Creed Shadows, and I'm just trying to get through it, but I just sometimes I don't want to deal with it. And so if you remember, we did Police Simulator.
Yes.
Um, so I downloaded that for when I don't know what I want to do, like, and I could just walk around and just give tickets to people. Uh, RoboCop is kind of like a step above the Police Simulator because you can go around and you get into shootouts. Basically, you don't arrest. Well, you do give tickets out, and you do arrest some people,
So
but
I got
most
a
of it is
question.
like
Hold
you're
on. I got a
going through a
question. I got a
building.
question. Just because
Yeah, yeah,
if you got pulled over by RoboCop and he gave you a ticket, like, I
yeah.
mean, I think I'd shit my pants.
Yeah, there's one of those. There was a mission where I had to just work the front desk at the police station as RoboCop, and so people were coming and being like, "I have this complaint," like blah blah, and I was filing administrative paperwork as
RoboCop's
RoboCop because
doing
he's a cop.
customer service.
Yes, he's a fucking cop. He's doing cop shit,
But
and
he's
like
a
you could
robot.
choose, you could choose for him to like let people off with a warning or like give tickets out. There's different experience points you get for that. There's dialogue choices. There's like deduction points you can put in him to have him be a better detective. Um, it's not a very, for a licensed game, it's actually not bad. You could tell there's not really a lot of money that goes into it, but the shooting is fun. I mean, I got an achievement for shooting a guy in the nuts. Um, which was really cool. But it doesn't require anything of me. Like, it's not complicated. I think the only thing that I hate about it is that, you know, I have really bad OCD when it comes to checking for shit in video games.
Yeah.
Like looking in nooks and crannies and if
It's also the
something's the main
RPG
path.
gamers in us, so yes.
Yeah, but it's like I will go off the main path and I will look for shit. So I'm always looking like I'm distracted because I'm always going off to the corners, being like, "Let me make sure I collect all the police evidence that's lying around here," or scanning shit for clues. I really hate that. But overall, it's like it's first person. Um, so when you're in like a warehouse and you're shooting thugs, it's first person. You get headshots. You do nut shots. You can do whatever you want. Um, like tied into like the actual RoboCop lore. Like it's film accurate. The people look like they did in the movie too, and it just doesn't really ask a lot out of me. There's side quests. There's things to do like that. There's tickets to issue for cars that might be parked, in fucked up ways. I'm not really too deep into it, but it's got like a skill tree of things that you can put into it, different skills you could unlock as RoboCop. Um, yeah, it's just a nice change of pace from a game like Assassin's Creed Shadows is fucking gorgeous and beautiful and everything looks great and it feels really great in the controls and the combat feels awesome. But the quest design is just really tedious and it makes me actually not want to play it sometimes. I'm like, I don't even know where to go. I'm going here. I can't really fast travel, and then when I do fast travel this season, there's all these little annoying things that make me kind of want to drop it. Although I don't want to because I paid money for it. So like
I
that's the
bought it,
conundrum I
damn
think I
it.
have as an adult. Yeah, like as an adult, I'm like I spent $60 on this. Um, I should finish it. But at the same time, I'm hearing my wife in my ear right now, who's always like, just do whatever you want. Because if I want to play, Claire Obscure, Expedition 33, which I definitely want to, I should just drop Assassin's Creed and just play that game. Like, just play a game that you want to play. If you don't want to play a game, don't fucking torture yourself while playing a game. If it didn't work out, it didn't work out. But I've got this completionist mindset, not so much in a platinum kind of a way, right? But in a way where I'm like, well, I bought this game, I should beat it, right? But there's plenty of people in the world that will play a game and just play the first like chapter and just drop it and never be spoken of again. That have bought the game on full price. Um, I don't know.
It seems like
That's
such
just
a
kind
waste
of.
of money. I mean, I know we both have talked
It
about
is, of
this,
course, it is.
because it's tough, by because we are adults. We've joked about this from time to time again.
Yes,
We could buy
we are
whatever we want. It's
definitely
our money.
adults.
Blah blah blah. And yeah, so
Yeah,
buying 50, $60, for a brand new game, it's I mean, no drop of the hat, but yeah, and when it sucks or something happens, it's
yeah,
disappointing. But I get you because it's like I paid for this. I should keep going because there's so many games on PS Plus which I've tried, and then like I'll play a little bit, get a little into the
Yeah.
story, and I'm like, yeah, it's not for me. And then I can turn it off and be like, okay, no bother. I didn't waste a penny on it. Then I think about
Mhm.
Days Gone because I think I bought that for $20, and I've tried. We've talked about this game so many times, but I've tried like three or
So
four
many
different
times.
times to just play it, and
So
I don't know
many
why. Because
times.
you would think like the
It
zombies
doesn't
and
grip
this and
you.
that, I would love it, but I'm just like I just again could not get into it. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I
I'm the
get
same
it
way with
because
Last.
you pay that much for Assassin's Creed, and I get it because you want to beat it. You might not be enjoying
Yeah.
it, but you're like, I have to. I paid for this. So and it's
Doesn't that
tough.
suck? It's like your worst dreams come true or your best dreams come true because you're right. Here we are. We're adults. We're very much adults. There's no question about it. I don't even get carded anymore when I go places. Um, Clearly, I'm an adult, and I have disposable income. I don't have kids. You don't have kids right now. Um, so I just kind of look at my money and go like, well, I could, but then I don't play games often enough to justify. So with RoboCop, it's a free game on PlayStation. Well, it's kind of free. I'm playing for a subscription, but it's free on PlayStation
Yeah.
on PS Plus, and it's not like a lot of rocket science. It's just kind of whatever. And so it's a more enjoyable experience. I feel like I'm enjoying it more. I don't know, maybe because it was free or something like that. But then I look over here and I see an RPG I want to play, and then I look over here and I see another RPG I want to play, and I'm like, I don't even have time to play the games that I have now. Like, my gaming really, like today I had to make a decision. Am I going to watch movies or am I going to play video games? I played a little bit of video games, but I spent 4 hours watching movies today. And I've been up since 6:30. So it's just like I don't really have time. Like I don't come home and play video games. I really don't. Like I come home and I have a little bit of window. I get some stuff done that I just try to get done, like writing or whatnot, or anything else. But sitting down and spending like we used to, 13 hours. Like 13-hour marathons, like of
Hmm.
games. I don't have the fucking time to do that shit. 13 hours. Can you imagine? I used to do that shit. Like Final Fantasy 7, I talk about it, but I spent like almost 24 hours trying to beat the Emerald Weapon. It was legit 24 hours in a row. I just was awake and I was fighting the Emerald Weapon for 24 hours in a row until I figured out how to do it. Until I figured out the right sequence of what to use. Because it was that time, it's like on a time limit.
Yes,
So
20
it's like,
minutes.
just making it right. So it's like you're just trying to make the right decision and yada yada. But now I'm like, I need something that I can jump into and then jump out of. With Assassin's Creed, it's like it's like, oh my god, where am I? Do I go here? Okay, all right, I'm getting jumped. I don't know. And then again, I see Claire Obscure, and I'm like, I want to play that. I want to play that instead. I don't. I made a wrong decision. I don't know.
It
Like
happens.
whatever I want to play, right?
Well, it's
The
like
movie,
right.
it's different because it's just a waste of time. Like and if you paid money for it, maybe it's the most $5. But you don't really feel that bad if you watched a bad movie. But a bad video game, it stings.
It does. It does. And there's been a couple I think I've played in the past that I paid for full price for that I questioned, but it's like the last game I bought was the Lunar collection, both games, and I'm on Lunar too,
Yeah,
and I like it because I mentioned this. It's a very simplistic RPG. I mean, I
right.
still like you. I still explore and I still take the world map and I go places, and I can't because it is weirdly enough very linear. So there is, though they give you the option to explore, you ain't finding shit, and it's hilarious. But I have to do it. But I like it because it is a game I can pick up because I was ill a little bit last week because you can save anywhere. You can just like after you fight an enemy, you can just save. So like if you're just trying to grind your way to the if you're under you know leveled, but yeah, so it's like where am I? I'm here. I'm going. Okay, easy enough. And again, I think I played it a little bit yesterday, picked it right back up. I'm like, all right, I know what's going on. So I get it because I think the
Uh,
last game I don't know what's last. I way back, and I say way back in the early 2010s because we were definitely at Blockbuster when this came out. I went
mhm.
to GameStop and I bought day one Operation Raccoon City. Now, if you don't know what this game is, it's a weird mix where there is a quick story mode because the game takes place
Yeah.
kind of simultaneously as Resident Evil 2, but you play as the bad guy. You play as a guy that won a for a
Ah, yeah,
co-op as an
yeah.
umbrella team. But you can also do like team versus zombies. So they had like this online aspect, which I thought, and the story mode was quick. I think it would have been fun with a few buddies, drink if we mean you were having a drinking night, like let's fucking do this. The
Mhm.
online play kind of sucked, and I was kind of disappointed. Um, so yeah, I hate it because yeah, I know I went to GameStop, dropped $60 for it, and that was about it. And I'm like, I gotta really start, reviewing my game choices. Just like don't just you know buy it willy nilly, but we do. And I don't know that I well actually I do. The next game I will pay full price for is probably going to be Resident Evil 9, unless Directive 8020 comes out earlier and I can talk you into it and we do that game. I know
Oh
we've been
no,
trying to get
that one.
Dying Light 2, but I think we're going to drop Dying Light 2 for Directive 8020. I think we would.
We have it's on brand for what we do. Like we've been playing every single one of these fucking games, and I have no problem like that. Like I can justify playing full price because we're gonna make content out of it, and we'll stream it. It'll be funny. Hopefully somebody's arms glitch out this time. I think that was the funniest part about the last one. Was that dude's arms
Yes.
in every single fucking scene.
And then in the cutscenes,
The fucking glitch.
just the
Oh my
two
god, that's
balls.
fucking great. That shit was well worth it. Well worth it. So, but space, that's fucking awesome. I don't know where they're gonna go from there, to be quite
They
honest with you, but space sounds
they said they can keep making games. They have like I think they said they have 15 to 20 subgenres. Space was like one they really want to do, but they said they will keep making it as long as people keep buying it. And they said they have
I'll
enough
keep buying.
content where it keeps things different because none of these games have ever felt the same. And that's the best part. We had like I know our first one was what Man of Medan, and me and you were trying to
Yes.
figure things out, but that what is it? They were just basically high, trying to figure things out.
Yeah.
And then what was it? Little Ashes, which is more of the kind of different personalities. But the gameplay is a little different than, yeah, what was the House of Ashes, which might have been the best. Us with guns and like aliens underneath the world. We're like, what the fuck is going
Oh my
on? And
god,
we're in
yeah.
that house. And what was the
There's a
one?
helicopter one too that I shot a
Yeah,
rocket
that
launcher at.
that's House of Ashes.
Yeah.
That's
That was
when we
great.
were in the military and stuff like that. But what was the fourth one that we just wait? So Little Hope, Man of Medan,
Oh,
House of
the
Ash.
fourth one we did was like on the island and shit like that. And it was like a party of people or something.
Yes, and they were
Or
filming. That's right. What was the name of that though?
it was like kind of like Saw too, because there was like weird like Saw things in it.
Yes. Oh, that's right. And the man in
Secret
that
room,
like mask with the
rooms.
Phantom. Uh,
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
bothering me
It's
that
like
I
serial
cannot think of
killer.
the name of this, and I'm going to kind of look this up. So entertain the people for a minute. Talks among yourselves.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Talk to yourselves as we decide. I don't think we've ever actually played one of those games and had everybody survive. I think that's probably
we've always
the thing.
yeah. Actually,
Somebody always dies.
yeah,
Kind
the
of thing.
closest we came was like the first game, um,
Hmm?
because I did not button mash quick or no, I think I thought it was going to be a button mash. It ended up being a prompt, and the one guy we had die, and he was the only one. We were so close. So yeah, we were close. Um, but yeah, hold on. Games. Here we go. Come on.
The last one.
Directed casting of Frank's Devil in Me. Devil in Me. That's what it was called.
Is that what it was? The Devil in Me?
Yes.
Yeah, it was called The Devil in Me.
Yeah, I
You're
just
right,
had to
because
look
it
it up as
starts
we.
off
Yeah.
and everything, and then
Oh
yeah,
yeah, we
I
were a
remember
young
this now.
couple on our honeymoon, and I
Yes,
think
that's
I was the
right. And then
guy, and like the doors. So that was a great. That was good. It just ended. I felt like I needed more explanation to the ending because I felt like there was more story to it, and the guy kind of got away. Though there was one. I mean, obviously, there's so many different endings that I look into. I'm like, God damn! Like, I know we play not horribly, but kind of funny, horrible sometimes. Like, yeah, we're gonna make this guy an asshole. Fuck it, let's do it. But yeah, there's some really bad endings. But yeah, so Directive 8020, I think might be coming out this fall. So yeah, if we don't get on Dying Light and finish that,
yeah,
we will probably end up just swapping over, and my coaching will be done, so I'll probably have a
I,
little bit more nights free too. So
if things are free, it doesn't feel so bad. Like we just were talking about. Um, I don't know. Can I ask you a real quick question
Yeah,
about
yeah. That's what we're doing.
Chicago, Chicago alcohols?
Chicago alcohols?
Do you, have you, yeah, have you ever heard of this Jepson Malort alcohol ever?
No, no,
Also known as the Chicago Handshake.
no.
Okay, I'll have to send you a video of what my reaction was, but it was like the worst alcohol that I've ever had in my life.
Oh,
And
damn.
apparently it's a Chicago thing. It's like known in the industry as being like the one of the worst tasting alcohols that you could ever have. I'll send you the video of my reaction because it was taken of my reaction while I was doing these shots, and yeah, it was. It tasted like I was drinking what was under my kitchen sink, basically. It was not pleasurable, and I didn't know if you knew about this heinous part of Chicago or not.
No, but again, I was not
How'd you don't?
21 during that era, and again, so it's not like I grew up there or anything like that. So I don't
Yeah,
know. I mean, I will
Chicago
definitely. Obviously, I'm
handshake.
gonna watch this video, and we'll go from there, and I'll laugh. But no,
Oh,
I
I'll
mean,
show you.
again, I'm also
Yeah.
not an alcohol, aficionado. I'm just like, give me my beer, give me a salmon. I mean, obviously, there's a time when I was
No,
Long
not a, like
Island.
an alcoholic.
It's like
Isn't that
I
like the
drink like
fucking
two, three things and I'm good nowadays. I mean, obviously, it's not like back in our early 30s where we're like, bartenders giving us shots. What's this? I don't know. It's blue soda. We got to drink it, so
the apocalypse one was one that we liked a lot at that Chinese restaurant. They would just give us the apocalypse shot after we had a poo poo platter for two.
platters
Um,
and
poo poo
drinks.
platter for two. You would eat the chicken wings, and I would have an apocalypse shot. You as well. And this would always be at like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning too, because we got out of Blockbuster Video like that. That's when we stopped working, and
Yeah.
then we would fucking just. I mean, we would essentially party till 2 o'clock in the morning after work all the
Yeah.
time.
And then we would just be at a bar talking. And that's what we're doing now, just minus the bar part.
We're way more sober than we were back in
Yeah.
those days. I don't think you
100%. My days are well
see, like
numbered.
RoboCop's happy as long as we're not in a motor vehicle. Like he's like we're in a
Oh
bar.
God, he would give us a
But
ticket, Soto.
yes, he would, and or actually, you know what? He probably would shoot us. Based on what I've done in in the game, he would shoot us and ask questions later. That's the amount of police work that I do in this game. So, but
All right, I gotta ask something. I need to go back to Assassin's Creed real quick, and I not to bring this
yeah,
up before we kind of move on,
of course, dude.
because
Yeah,
I this is more curiosity from what I read, and you might have mentioned this, but they had a tie-in with Dead by Daylight. Like
they
there's
did.
some
Yeah.
cosmetics,
Yeah.
but is it true? Or and I don't know if you've even heard of it or know of it or even give a shit that there's a horse in the Assassin's Creed game named Maurice. Do you know anything about this?
I know that. Well, apparently that's supposed to be from Dead by
Correct.
Daylight, isn't it?
Correct. But
Yeah.
I thought I read somewhere where you can ride this horse in Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Have you
It's
got
like
to this?
or no, because I'm trying not to like break the immersion. Yes, you are in a virtual reality, but it's like you can get like some other like crazy three-tailed fox thing that you can ride around in, and I'm like, this does not feel historically accurate to me.
All right.
So yeah, I haven't done it, but I've heard that of the crossover. I just have not like gotten picked up any of the cosmetics for it.
So you pay for it's not a game thing. It's you pay for the cosmetic in Assassin's Creed.
Sometimes, yeah,
Okay.
like it'll
Okay.
be in
Yeah,
like the store. There's a lot of microtransactions, so
again, I don't play Assassin's Creed. I mean, I know Dead by Daylight is the transactions and the obviously the chapters. Five Nights at Freddy's is coming out on Tuesday, which I actually will probably play. And we gotta start streaming on Twitch again. I keep thinking about that. I'm like, God, I should just put shit on Twitch. Who cares? But I was gonna say back to my thing, like if it's microtransactions, so I don't want you to put any more money in this game. This point, but if it was something that was free or just like an Easter egg. That's what I was thinking. Like it was an Easter egg in Assassin's Creed game. I'm like, save the clip so I can show Jill because they took Maurice out of the Dead by Daylight game, and every time they do that the fans get sad. It's so hilarious. So I was gonna
I mean,
say,
I think it's like apparently from what I'm reading, it's like there's a quest where you go against the Oni,
mm-hmm.
uh, and then you get a reward. You get like a trinket and a banner. But you have to purchase the Dead by Daylight inspired cosmetic pack for
Yeah. So
characters.
no, don't purchase anything. Again, I just
There's
kind of
also
quickly
a
read about it.
uh, so I don't know. I mean, look, I mean, Assassin's Creed to me, beautiful game, beautiful fucking game. But I don't fucking know like really what's happening in the storyline. And I've played it for like 45, 50 hours.
That's the worst when you don't know what's going on. I've had games like
I mean, I
that too.
do, but I don't. You know, like I do, but it's like how invested am I in the story? Like I don't know. I don't really give a fuck. And if I don't give a fuck about a story, then what am I
You're
playing a game for?
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like not like I give a fuck about RoboCop, but at least I know RoboCop hears about criminals. He goes into warehouse. He killed criminals. Like, and that's fine with me. Like, I'm just literally I put on my shield and reduce 80% damage, and I just walk up to guys, grab them, and throw them off of buildings and shit. Or I walk up to guys, grab them, and just choke them. 'Cause I'm a robot, and I'm a cop. I'm a RoboCop.
Yeah, you're cosplaying.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Hell yeah!
let's move from games to movies. We heard
Movies.
we heard some news today that kind of got us excited. Maybe a little nervous. I don't know. Maybe a little of everything. I know they've been talking about this for the last few years or a couple of years. There's been rumors. You know, you hear rumors about sequels and stuff. And even when I last heard this, I thought this can't be real. But this is now legit, Soto, because it's coming out in
Legit.
2027. 40 years later.
How's Mel
Spa-
Brooks gonna be alive?
He's playing Yoga. In 97, he's going to play Yoga. I mean, I'm sure, obviously, he didn't have that many scenes in the first one. He's not going to have
Film it
many
now.
scenes.
Film it now. Film it right now.
I'm sure
Like
they are.
film his part now. Get it out of the way.
But, you know, we've talked a lot about parody
Lord.
movies, you know, throughout the years. And Spaceballs is by far probably one of the best parody movies. It's just so hilarious. I actually saw this in theaters, Soto. I saw this at the National Mall. My grandma took me because I saw the trailer, and I love Star Wars, and the trailer, I forget her name in the movie, but she's like, my hair, they shot my hair. And then she just takes the gun and kills everyone. And I remember that stuck with me, and I love Spaceballs. Spaceballs is hilarious. So many memorable scenes, quick in and outs. What are your thoughts, though, about doing Spaceballs?
I mean, I didn't
now the quest for more money.
I didn't ask for it. That's for sure.
No one did, but here we are. Bill Pullman's returning.
A lot of people are coming.
Rick Moranis.
Everybody's come back except for people who are dead. Rick Moranis, who disappeared from Hollywood.
Well, to take care of his family, correct. But now his kids are grown. So, but yeah, that was his whole reason. I think his wife I don't know the full story, so if I get this wrong, either she got sick or she passed. And yeah, he quit Hollywood to take care of his kids. So don't get me wrong. Very good. Love a lot of movies. So the fact that he's returning, I think I'm like, holy shit. And yes, Mel Brooks is going to play Yogurt again. And Josh Gad is doing a lot
I
of
don't
writing.
know, man. I can't imagine. You said Josh Gad is involved in this?
I think he's the one that got the ball rolling. He was trying to talk Mel Brooks into the sequel. So him and Mel Brooks are working on the script, or have now officially finished the script. So when I originally heard this, that was the thing. Josh Gad wanted to, be a part of this more creatively than to star in it. But yeah, he said he would not go forward without Mel Brooks' permission, and he wanted, hopefully, any help. So the two of them might, from my understanding, work together in this. So the script's done. And yeah, obviously most of them have passed. Pullman, I forget what her name, Daphne something, I think is the actor. I don't know if she's still alive. But yeah, Joan Rivers is gone. John Candy's gone. So who knows? But a sequel.
Wow. I mean, I don't know, man. I never was wondering about a space. It should have been done in the early 90s. If it was early to mid 90s, I think would have been the best opportunity, especially when the prequels came out.
I was about to say, when Phantom Menace came out, that would have been the hype.
That would have been awesome. But I really don't have any expectations for any bullshit like this. And again, already I can tell you I'm not watching this unless it's like free on something. So that's how I feel about
so
that shit.
You wouldn't even do a theater trip to see Spaceballs 2.
I don't know if I can't. I'm not really inspired by this being a good experience. Are you?
Give me 1 second. Hey, Cranky, what's up? Thanks for joining us. In the chat, we're kind of talking Spaceballs 2 right now. I don't know how to feel about this, Soto. because I agree with you. The fact that I felt like when the prequels came out, that would have been a good time. I don't know how much Star Wars they're gonna, because now they have this whole history of Star Wars to make fun of, and
I
yeah,
hate
40
Star Wars.
years. Well,
I don't like Star Wars. Like we've done a lot of Star Wars podcasts, and
we just
like
give
when
us
I
the
think when I
original
think Star
trilogy.
Wars,
Nothing else exists.
when I hear about the Star Wars shit, I'm like, oh,
So
like and Spaceballs now, I'm like, I didn't ask for this, nor did I want this.
I
I don't know.
I don't know either. And again, it's
I'm
40.
not
It's gonna
like,
come
look, I
out
don't
40
like.
years
I'll tell
later.
you, I heard the news, and it wasn't like, oh my god, finally. I mean, and yes, I am fucking jaded as a moviegoer, but this doesn't like turn me on in any sort of way. This doesn't make me be like I wanna go out of my way to fucking watch something like this. Like I don't know. I don't know. I'm very up in the air. This feels like an Amazon Prime. I have nothing else going on. I gotta check it out just for
Oh,
shits
we
and
will
giggles.
check it
Maybe I'll feel
out. I mean,
differently, but
it's gonna be a year and a
like
half, but we will check
if I
this
see a
out.
trailer, like maybe like oh yeah. So by the time Jason Tatum comes back and plays basketball, this movie will come out. Wow, that tells me how long ago that is. That's far in the future. I don't know. I mean, the Schwartz Awakens. I don't.
There's no official title, and obviously there's no official, art or anything like that. Just the announcement was made, so I had to go online and just find something that was kind of widescreen. But yeah, I don't know how I feel, but I love the fact Mirk Moranis is coming back. That's probably
Sure,
it, because again, it's like
I'm mad about
okay,
that.
I'm like he has been away from acting for God knows how many years, and yes, but here's the question, Asado. Will this turn around the spoof movie genre? Can this save the spoof movie? Because I know they're doing a new scary movie, which I think they're
Naked
just called
Gun too.
Scary Movie.
Naked Gun did seem kind of funny in the trailer. Like what Liam Neeson is Frank Drebin's son or
Yes,
some shit like that. Did you see the
yeah.
trailer for
All their
that?
sons are now in the fourth, and OJ's son is there.
Including OJ. Including OJ. Oh no.
They
No.
had to reference it. I mean, come on, you
They
just
had
can't. They
to. They
couldn't
had
just
to.
brush that under the table. They're like, all right, he was, but
Happy they didn't. I'm happy they
I'm
looked
glad
at
they
it
didn't.
and
I'm
said,
glad they didn't. I think it's hilarious because we're all in on the joke.
I don't know. I mean,
Yes,
like,
Cranky,
look,
that
yeah,
OJ gag was good. But going back to
it's
Spaceballs too, I'm obviously where because again, I love the original. I'm surprised we never did Spaceballs for Rotten Taste. I don't know if it was never free. We might have to do it now. I know it's been a while
it,
since we've done a Rotten Taste episode, but it's only
yeah,
52% on Rotten Tomatoes, so it's in our criteria.
yeah.
So
I mean, it's a good candidate for that. I mean, I'd rather see where it's available because I think Robin Hood Men in Tights is very similar to this. But I don't know. I've been disappointed by so many things in the last 30 years. Like things never live up to the hype. I mean, I don't know. Like maybe the Marvel movies kind of did. Like we talked about how kind of Endgame was like the peak, and then it's been just shitty since. Um,
yeah.
I don't know. Like when people are like, "Oh, things are coming back," I'm like, who cares? I'm just worried about Mel Brooks and his health. Although he looks great for 97. He seems to be high energy, so maybe this will be kind of funny. Who knows?
It depends on how much script he had, how much say he had in the script. Which, like I said,
Mhm.
Josh Gad wanted his approval and everything. So, in a way, this most likely is going to be Mel Brooks' last movie, one way or another.
I
I
would
don't know.
imagine so. Yeah.
I know he's not directing it, but I mean, just something that he's a part of because I don't think he's going to write
Right.
anything else. And I think he only did this just because, as the gag went in the movie, the quest for more money. But God, I just love Spaceballs. The first one was just so brilliant and just so simple
Yeah.
and so many dumb gags, which made me laugh. Because again, it's one of those things where, as a kid, it's humorous, but when you watch it as an adult and you get more of the adult jokes, it's just as funny. And it's nothing
Yeah.
that's because we watched movies where we're like, we remember as kids, we're like, oh, we love this. Then we watch it as adults, we're like, what the fuck were we thinking? You know what I mean? Just like again, because childhood humor is a little different, but I don't know. I am curious about Spaceballs too. I can't believe they made it
Yeah.
official. I mean,
Just saying it's not.
but I don't know. I don't think I'll see it in theaters like you. I will probably see it whichever streaming service gets it first. But I'm gonna hear so much about it, because obviously it's gonna be all over social media and people will ruin it. But
Yeah, I'll see. A trailer comes out in 3 fucking years or whatever the fuck this shit is, then I'll talk about it. But until then, I'm just kind of like it's a disturbance in the force for me.
I mean, would you rather watch this or Phantom Menace?
Hmm. Why you gotta ask me questions like that?
Because that's what we're doing. That's
Those
the
are
whole
hostile.
idea about the bar
Those,
debate. We just bring up random
those are
questions. That's the
hostile.
whole idea of the podcast. What comes in their mind?
I
Would
mean,
you rather watch
I'll
Phantom
be
Menace
honest with you.
again or watch
Mhm.
Spaceball 2 in theaters?
Um, I in theaters. Ooh, I can at least watch Phantom Menace at home.
Okay, at home. You know what?
Uh,
Whatever. Which one would you rather watch first? Or
I'd
at
rather watch
all?
Spaceballs 2 because as of this moment, I
It's
don't I
new.
don't know if Spaceballs 2 is terrible, and I hate the Phantom Menace. I'm sorry to be an old man screaming at the clouds, but I think Phantom Menace is one of the worst movies I've ever seen. I know there's a whole generation of people that grew up on it. I mean, fuck you guys. But Phantom Menace sucks. The prequels, they're terrible. The writing is terrible. The acting is terrible. Objectively speaking, you can like them for nostalgia reasons. That's valid. I give you your space. Just one man's opinion. If we're gonna debate this or whatever, or anybody wants to debate me, the prequels are dog shit. They just are. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that's the only Star Wars that you got when you grew up, and I'm sorry that was the first one that you got when you grew up. Um, that's a tough way to get into it. And now it's like everyone's like, oh yeah, like fucking Revenge of the Sith or whatever. Revenge of the Sith is supposed to be like the good one of the prequels. It's tolerable, but there is so much that's unforgivable in the prequels to me that um, it's not good. So yes, I would watch Spaceballs 2 over having to watch Phantom Menace again. Sure.
Because you're going to see it. 100%. Once it's free, you're going to watch it. I mean, even if we
Oh,
hear
dude,
so
I'm gonna
much
watch Happy
bad,
Gilmore 2 this summer. Happy Gilmore 2, I'm gonna watch this summer, and I know it's gonna be dog shit. So yeah,
what other sequel? But you won't watch Beetlejuice.
I'm getting there. It'll happen. It'll happen. It just hasn't. I'm waiting to see if Sarah wants to watch that too. I wouldn't watch it by myself, but because I'm sure she's curious as well. But Beetlejuice is also available on Netflix now, as well as HBO. So we're getting closer. We're getting closer.
It just keeps recommending it to you. Just do it. I need you to feel my pain. I mean, I know you watched Slaw the other day just because of me, but
I'm
and we're gonna
just
get into
gonna
that.
say to
We're
you, right,
gonna get into that
I
review
already
another day. Not
felt
here. We
your
can't
fucking
hear.
pain.
I told you don't do it. I told you don't do it. Just because I called it the worst movie I've seen this year, you had to see it, and I felt bad. I apologize in advance. I gave you an out. Just remember that I gave you an out to see from seeing Slaw. Um,
He did. I saw it. I've
you
seen
did.
it now. I'm a different person. I'm a different person now than I was the last time we talked. I'm a person that has seen the film Slaw.
Slaw.
We're gonna
Oh,
talk a lot about it.
yeah, it's gonna take up a lot of the podcast again. When we film that, so
Yeah, it's gonna because it's gonna be a thing because we need to really unpack it. Now that I've seen it and we could talk about it back and forth, we're gonna need to
I don't
discuss
want
some
to
of the things
unpack
that
it
we
any more than I did. Oh my god! If anyone's
because
listening to this, just don't see the movie Slaw. It's a bad, bad parody movie of the movie Saw, which isn't really a parody movie. And I know we're gonna do this for our film podcast, so that's why we're not getting into it. But man, I told Soto the start of my when we did last week's episode, like this is the worst movie I've seen this year. I started out that way. I had to. I'm starting out with the end. It was so bad. Um, oh my
I'm not
god.
even gonna tell you. I'm not even gonna say what I feel about it, just
There's that.
because we're gonna save it for
Yes,
Thursday.
you're gonna save it, but there's nothing good. There's the only good thing happened is probably when the credits rolled, and you're like, "Thank God it's fucking over." Um, but that again, that's a
Well,
story
right
for
before
another.
the credits was quite something.
I don't even remember. We'll get into it. I'm sure you'll remind me,
Yeah.
and I'll be sad again. And I gotta watch some movies for this week's podcast. I don't know what I'm gonna watch. Something decent, something good. And yes, I know. Any last thoughts? Because we've been doing this for a little over an hour. But anything you want to add? Any other last bar debates you want to discuss? I know we got through like
No,
sports.
I'm gonna think about the Chicago thing. That's gonna be something for sure.
Chicago or Boston?
Um, Chicago or Boston? That's tough. We're both kind of in a bad spot right now, so I'm gonna have to think about that one.
Because your best hope is the Celtics, but Tatum's injured. And technically, my best hope is the Cubs, but they got the Dodgers. So at this time, things can change. You never know. Bears or Patriots could somehow shock the world. Not going to happen, but they could. It could happen.
A lot of things would need to happen. I mean, again, the Chiefs, as much as I hate them, I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl next year, but they're still there.
Yeah.
And I think that the AFC still goes through the Chiefs until it doesn't, right?
Correct. That's the
Yeah.
way it goes. You got to beat the. I hate to say the best, but you got to beat the. What the best team is, and
Because the
they've been
Ravens
AFC
have been
champs.
able.
They've been there for so many years. So yeah, it's why people don't think Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson or Joe Burrow is really the only one who did it. AFC wise, I'm not talking about NFC. We know
Yeah.
Brady beat him, Jalen Hurts, but AFC wise, yeah, Burrow's the only one that put a little nudge in it. I know Brady and the Pats did early on, but once Mahomes got
We
his,
sure did.
my God, I'm ready for football and I'm not ready for football. Like we're gonna have to do one. Like, what are the stories of this coming season? I know we already talked about Aaron
Oh my
Rodgers
God.
because we
That's
hate
fucking,
him,
that's
but we
really,
did see. Yeah, well, you know what? I mean, we're going to be doing this every Saturday, which will be perfect. It'll be before Sunday, so we'll have games to talk
yeah.
about. I don't think we'll talk
No,
about every game and pick every game winner like we did last year, but
no,
oh my
no,
God. Oh.
no, no.
But okay, that will do it today for Drinking Buddies. If you're watching right now, thanks for joining us. If you're listening on Spotify, thanks for listening to us. Again, we'll be doing this again next week. We usually just try and again come up with random topics. And I keep saying this. If you have a debate, a topic, a question, anything, just put it in the comments. Let us know. Because that's what we're doing. We'll just talk about whatever shit. It's just who we are
Yeah.
now. Yeah, so
So I spent a Saturday afternoon. That's what we do.
yeah. So everyone, to all the dads out there, have a good Father's Day tomorrow. And
Happy Father's
I
Day.
know, I know that's a big one for me. But everyone, have a good week, and we'll talk to you later.